In a few minutes, we'll be talking to Thompson Fontaine. More names being revealed in this Panama scandal. Thompson is out of state, and of course, join us live on the line there. Dr. Thompson Fontaine, what's going on?
Matt, a very good afternoon to you and to your many listeners. Let me just say that it has been indeed a fascinating last 48 hours going through the volumes of data that is being made available. Even before I go into giving more details, I must inform you that soon after after I came off your program, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday, yesterday that was, we heard Mr. Tony Astafan on the other radio station sounding like a desperate cornered rat trying to, diminish my credentials, but I just want to say, Matt, I've been doing this now, I've been writing and commentating on these things now for over 16 years. And the only time that I was sued was by the Prime Minister in 2010. And we know where this case has gone. They're trying all their best efforts to keep it out of the courts. So when I speak from a certain degree of confidence and truth. And I don't just say things for saying sake.
So you're not moved by Tony's explanation?
Absolutely not, Matt. This sounded like a person who was frantically trying to cover, I don't know what tracks he was trying to cover, but the facts are the facts, and the facts will stand and will remain. And it is for us, the people of Dominica, to be very concerned about these Panama Papers. And I would like to, even as I start today, Matt, I hope the police of Dominica, I hope that they're listening. I would like the Dominica police to open up an investigation into those Panama Papers. And the reason why I'm saying this is, Matt, and the Dominican public need to know this, and I'm saying this publicly for the first time. A few weeks ago, I wrote an article concerning the factual details of the Larry River Hotel, going back into history, what had happened and so on. Mr. Peanut Burns reported me to the police. The police immediately opened up an investigation on me. So I now have a file at the police station on the investigation on the say-so of Peanut Burns. We saw what happened with Mr. Leonard Linton on the say-so of Tony Astafan. Police was at his home. We saw what happened to Danny Luge on the say-so of Mr. Alec Lawrence. Danny Luge was picked up. We are now saying that the Panama Papers provide sufficient evidence that there is wrongdoing going on, and I will explain that in just a little bit, and the police need to open up a file. It cannot be that the police are simply committing their resources against the political opposition in Dominica and against poor people children. You call the police and tell them about a crime being committed, somebody planting a few trees of marijuana, and they're up there in a minute. You need to place that same level of urgency and importance on these Panama Papers. Matt, I wanted to get this out. I think that is very important because I'm going to read to you, Matt, the list of names of the individuals that so far we've been able to find out. And I would like to make a special appeal to the Dominican public to listen very carefully, and if you know who these people are, to give us the information. We're trying to find out exactly who these people are. We know who some of them are, others we don't. And we would really like for the Dominican public to give us a help in identifying some of this. So I'm going to read the name.
Hold on, Thompson. Hold on. Already a few people have been calling as it relates to some of the names on that list, because for some reason they don't know why their name should be on the list. They have never had an investment in Panama, and the very family members are concerned about what is going on. So apparently some of the people involved used some people innocently, and they may have signed documents that they know nothing about.
But that is why is the very reason why I say we need a police investigation into this. Because it seems to me that that is some of that is happening, that there are some innocent individuals. And that's why we need to let them know whose names are on there, so that they will go to the people involved in registering those companies, like Mr. Isidore and Associates. Go to him and find out how it is your name end up on those documents, how it is the names of the loved ones who died a few years ago ending up on those documents. That is what I'm telling that this is serious. Okay, so
it is very serious.
People whose names, it is very serious, man. It is extremely serious, because we are seeing evidence of dead people, and I'll give you a couple examples whose names appear there. And as you said, people are calling concerned. They want to know where the names, how come the name end up on this list. That's the reason why, as I said, the names are there, and that's the reason why it's important that these individuals concerned and the family members take note, because something is going on there that is rotten and that the Dominican public need to be very, very, very concerned about.
So let's share some of those names, Thompson.
Let's share some of the names in date match. We have an individual by the name of Alice George, Erickson Raymond Christopher, Milton Filbert, Sino Union Caribbean Holding Limited, Mr. James Anslem, and that is linked to the WASCO, Mr. James Anslem, Liz Caris Coffee, Shanna Rose Claire Esprit, the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Crispin Bellat, Richard Smith, Alvin John Baptist, Daniel Anthony Bulos, Stephen Kamalia Michael Isidore, Stephen K. Isidore as a trustee for Hawick International, Leon Royer, Leon Oju Royer, Lucy Ma, Alex Chu, Stephen Chu, Geekhouse Corporation, David King Sue, and Mr. Glenworth Emmanuel. Now, Matt, let's take the name of Mr. Milton Filbert. We are learning that Mr. Milton Filbert was a city council worker who died a few years ago. But the important thing to note is that his daughter worked with Mr. Isidore. So the daughter of Mr. Milton Filbert would like to know why her father's name is on documents linked to the Panama Papers. Another very interesting case is that of what I mentioned, the second person I mentioned, Mr. Erickson Christopher. Mr. Erickson Christopher is the brother of Mr. Atherton Christopher. Mr. Atherton Christopher died a few years ago. Why this is important? Because this is the free Lower Murphy's Lane address that was mentioned yesterday on the program. So this address is in the name of Atherton Christopher, but Mr. Christopher has since died. He's the brother of Mr. Erickson Christopher, whose name we see appear on the documents. Another very important thing to note, another Dominican lawyer, we've not seen his name in the papers, but his partners in Varicose, fronting for some 72 companies. Mr. Lennox Lawrence, who lives as his partners, Varicose from Greece. This particular company is responsible for some 72 companies that have been published in the Panama Papers. So we see a widening web. These are the names of ordinary Dominicans. For example, I can give you an example. Shanna Rose Claire Esprit. That's an individual who was linked to OID. Remember, OID was linked to this bank, this Griffon Bank in Dominica. And her name mysteriously appears on documents again. As far as I know, she lives in Dominica. She's in Dominica. I'm hearing of some important connections that she might have. I'm not prepared to reveal those connections just yet. We're still investigating, and we'll only reveal stuff when we know for sure. But Matt, the lines are beginning to get clearer. And the important thing for Dominicans, and why should Dominicans care? Dominicans need to care because most of these companies that are listed, most of these individuals who are listed as beneficiaries would have access to millions and millions of dollars. Why is that important? Dominica has no major industry making millions and millions of dollars. The only thing in Dominica today, which has been true for the last 10, 15 years, the only commodity out of Dominica making those kinds of money, deserving of an offshore account that would hold millions of dollars, is the sale of Dominican passports. That's the only commodity that I know of. Dominica has no gold. Dominica has no mega businesses. So the question then becomes, and the question that all of us should be concerned about, is whether or not the sale of Dominican passports and the missing millions that we've been talking about for all these years, whether or not these monies has ended up in the name of some of the individuals who are listed as beneficiaries of some of those companies that have been registered in Panama.
Very interesting, Thompson. What are the kind of discussions we're hearing in other countries around the world? Because Tony Asafan is making it seem like we are the only country concerned about this.
But we're not the only country. This morning you talked about the president, I think the Prime Minister of New Zealand was thrown out of Parliament over a discussion.
Yes.
In responsible countries, the debate is taking place in Parliament. I would like for the Prime Minister of Dominica to call Parliament. Let us debate this in Parliament. Why? Because Dominica, given the size of this country, we have 68 companies registered with this particular law firm, Fonseca. Here in Jamaica, there are only 5 names been listed, only 5 people that have been listed. In Dominica, look at the list I gave you. So it is clear that Dominica has a disproportionate involvement. And the question is why? Again, I said, to me, the thing that links Dominica clearly to this is the availability of millions and millions of dollars, which could only have come through the sale of our Dominican passports. And the question to the Dominican public, and why I believe the police needs to investigate over and above the fact that there are dead individuals being used in these applications, whether or not, for example, new passports have been issued to individuals in those names. The police need to go, they have the names, they need to take a look at the registry to see what recently issued for these individuals who were dead. And they need to be calling Mr. Isidore and asking him a question. You know, Matt, Tony asked the friends on these individuals, right? They would make it look that like the people of Dominica are stupid. Dominica is a poor, struggling country. These individuals have found a way to fleece the country of millions of dollars. And they would like us, as responsible Dominicans, to simply sit back and let it pass. We will not let it pass. I believe, and even now, we have an election in Soufriere. The Soufriere area is one of the most impoverished areas in Dominica. Think of what could be done to improve the lives of the people living in that area if only a fraction of the money that would have coming from passports were to be coming back to the treasury and helping these people. You know, so we have a lot at stake. That's the reason why we need to bring it to the fore. Why are these individuals on the list of Panama Papers? Why we don't have Grenadians and St. Lucians and so on this list? What is it about Dominica? What is it about the law firm of Isidore and Associates? And we know for years, Mr. Isidore was the lawyer for Mr. Skerritt. We know of the case that was brought by Mr. Gunn Emmanuel against Mr. Isidore concerning the transfer of millions of dollars. And we know what happened to that case. Judicial review. And it's over 5 years now. Nothing has been done.
The big question, why Dominica, Thompson?
Wait, Martin. The question is why Dominica? So we have every reason to be concerned, like I say, and the reason why it's a public interest is because, as I said, the only commodity that Dominica is selling on the open market that will have these kinds of money to be opening offshore foreign accounts, transfer those funds is the sale of Dominican passports. I said it, and let them come after me.
We'll be, of course, staying in touch, Thompson, and reporting as we get it. Thank you very much. We do appreciate it. Thompson Fontaine there speaking to me live there on the telephone line, being out of state. The nets are widening. Find out why your names are on that list. Let's listen to some debate in the Panama Papers.
A false initiative which will divert other member states from pursuing their agenda. Last June, Treasury officials lobbied Brussels not to take action against Bermuda's tax secrecy. According to the European Union's Transparency Register, the tech giant Google has no fewer than 10 employees lobbying Brussels. Bermuda is the tax haven favoured by Google to channel billions in profits. And Conservative MEPs have been instructed on 6 occasions since the beginning of last year to vote against action to clamp down on aggressive tax avoidance. This is a party incapable of taking serious, internationally coordinated action to tackle tax dodging. Across the country and on this side of the House, Mr. Speaker, there is a thirst for decisive action against global tax avoidance scams that suck revenues out of our public services while ordinary taxpayers have to foot the bill. It undermines public trust in business, politics and public life. It can and must be brought to an end. The Prime Minister's announcement today about new measures to make companies liable for employees who facilitate tax cheating is welcome, but it's also too little, too late. In fact, it was announced by the former Chief Secretary of the Treasury a year ago. People want a government that acts on behalf of those who pay their taxes, not those who dodge their taxes in offshore tax havens. Yesterday, my friend, the Shadow Chancellor, set out a clear plan for transparency. And he is a member of this House who has spent all of his time in Parliament exposing tax havens and tax avoidance. And his paper included calling for an immediate public inquiry into the Panama Papers revelations to establish the harm done to our tax revenues and to bring forward serious proposals for reform. So I say gently to the Prime Minister, a tax task force reporting to the Chancellor and the Home Secretaries, both members of a party funded by donors implicated in the Panama leaks, will neither be independent nor credible. So will the Prime Minister back a credible and independent public inquiry into the abuses of the leaks? Our tax transparency plan also called for a specialised tax enforcement unit, properly resourced, Mr. Speaker, and that has to be the key. Since 2010, there have only been 11 prosecutions over offshore tax evasion, a situation the Public Accounts Committee described as woefully inadequate. Having slashed resources and cut 14,000 staff since 2010, will the Prime Minister today guarantee that resourcing to Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs will increase in this Parliament? Mr. Speaker, we support real action to end the abuses that allow the wealthy to dodge the rules that the rest of us have to follow. We need to ensure that trust and fairness are restored to our tax system and our politics. End the sense and the reality that there is one rule for the richest and another for everybody else. The Prime Minister has attacked tax dodging as immoral, but he clearly failed to give a full account of his own involvement in offshore tax havens until this week, or to take essential action, or to take essential action to clean up the system, whilst at the same time blocking wider efforts to do so.
All right, that's some debate going on the Panama Papers there in the United Kingdom. While, as Mr. Dr. Thompson Fontaine from the opposition suggested, maybe we should have a debate here and find out what's going on. Why are these people on that list? Is it about dodging taxes? I'm just asking a question at this time. But something has to be done. An investigation must start right away to find out just what is going on. Mr. Tony Assavan, they're debating this in the United Kingdom.
6 years of crushing austerity. Families lining up at food banks to feed their children. Disabled people losing their benefits. Elderly care cut and slashed. Living standards going down. Much of this could have been avoided if our country hadn't been ripped off by the super rich refusing to pay their taxes.
Do we have some super rich people in Dominica? Well, I guess we'll find out if an investigation begins today. People who are dodging their taxes.
To pay their share of tax like they pay when they work hard all the time. Prime Minister!
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, let me join the right honourable gentleman in congratulating the journalists who have broken.
Let me allow you to hear Mr. David Cameron on the Panama Papers scandal. Listen, this is Q95.
Refusing to pay their taxes. I say to this, disabled people losing their benefits. Elderly care cut and slashed. Living standards going down. Much of this could have been avoided if our country hadn't been ripped off by the super rich refusing to pay their taxes. I say this to the Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker. Ordinary people in the country simply won't stand for this anymore. They want real justice. They want the wealthy to pay their share of tax like they pay when they work hard all the time. Prime Minister!
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First of all, let me join the right honourable gentleman in congratulating the journalists who have broken this story about this huge cache of information from the Panama Papers. I think what matters now is that information is shared with tax authorities, including here in the United Kingdom, so that action can be taken. Now, the right honourable gentleman accused me of a distraction. I have to say, I think the biggest distraction today has been waiting for the right honourable gentleman's tax return, which we finally got, I think, published at about 3:35 after this session had begun. How incredibly convenient that no one could scrutinise. No one could scrutinise it. Now, let me answer each and every one of the questions that he said. First of all, he asked whether we would resource Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs with the right amount of money. We put £1.8 billion into various initiatives since 2010 to make sure they have the resources to find this money. First point. Second point, he asked me about my register of members' interests. I've complied with every aspect of the register of members' interests, and even before the Labour Party complaint has arrived at the Commissioner's door, I provided her with all of the necessary information. Third question, he asked me when I made the sale of these shares. I sold the Blairmore shares in January. I sold everything else in June. Next, he asked me whether I shared a list of these shares with the Cabinet Secretary, which was quite difficult because I had sold them. But I sat down with the Cabinet Secretary and went through all of my interests, all of my connections, all of my friendships, all of my family, as all ministers are advised to do. So you have a proper conversation with the Cabinet Secretary in that way. Fourth, I think, question was, why were we not extending the beneficial ownership ownership of companies to the beneficial ownership of trusts. The reason here is we want international action to take place. And the very clear advice I got was that if we included trusts in our initiative, we would not get any international action done. And this government has done more than any other to lead the world and make cooperation happen. Now he asks about the tax task force where HMRC, the Serious Crime Office and others are going to be investigating all of the information coming out of Panama. They have operational independence. If they find people to prosecute, prosecute them. If they find information of illegality, act on it. They are independent operationally, and that is exactly what they will do. They are reporting to the Home Secretary and the Chancellor because we want to make sure that radical action is taken. But they have total operational independence, and if the Shadow Chancellor is questioning the professionalism of the Inland Revenue, of the National Crime Agency, of the Serious Fraud Office, he shouldn't be doing that. Finally, let me answer the last question, which is the action we have taken about the overseas territories and the Crown dependencies. No government has done more to encourage them to take part in exchanging information, reporting tax information, and making sure that they give us the information on beneficial ownership. The leader of the Labour Party has suggested that we should force them. How is he going to force them? What is he going to do? Have we finally found a potential Prime Minister who wants to give give the Falkland Islands back to Argentina and invade Gibraltar? Is that what it's come to? What I would say is what we've seen from the Labour Party is we've seen their true colours when it comes to inheritance tax. If you want to pass your home to your children, they will tax it. If you want to help your children, they're going to tax it. We've seen their true colours. They're the enemy of aspiration, the enemy of families who want to support each other. And that's the real lesson of today.
All right, that's how it works in the real countries. Debate on the real issues. That was David Cameron, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Let's take a phone call and allow some conversation on this. Hello.
Yes, Matt. Real countries like the one I live in. Real countries where they address people and where they deal with anti-lapsing and everybody. Real countries, Matt. But if that was in Dominica, correction, if that was the other way around, and let's say the UWP had won the election in 2014, and the news had broke, and you had all these connections to UWP people, to Thompson, to Lennox, and so on, Matt, Tony and Tufan would have needed an extra mouth to talk. And Labourites would come out. Trust me, they would have come out. They would block roads, they would block bridges, they'll do what they have to do. But I don't know what happened to the 19, 16, 17,000 people that vote for UWP in Dominica. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You sit down there still? Sit down there. Just sit down there and wait for what? For who? For God to save all you? Sit down there.
Rich people dodging taxes. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, we hope the Inland Revenue is listening.
So where's the IPO?
For all of them, the IPO, Inland Revenue, the Chief of Police, and Matt, this time we do like the people from Iceland, Matt. We have to do that because Scary will have to answer to us. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Have a good day. Hello. You see how real countries debate issues, huh?
No, but besides real countries, you hear in senior countries saying nobody is talking about that.
He said that too?
What I'm saying is, you have similarities there, Ordinary people paying their taxes, Wice, rich people dodging. Right here in Dominica, our living standards has gone down. The guy was making that same comment in what you played there. Our living standards has gone down. Why is all these rich people there enjoying life, and not paying taxes? So these are the things happening right here in Dominica. And we sitting there and waiting for people to tell us when to talk, when to move, when to react. Bro, we're making a joke out of this thing. These things are no joke, we took out a government out of power saying that they were corrupt. And you're seeing a government that is corrupt right before your eyes, and we're not doing anything. Bro, something has to be done, and this nonsense about inciting whatever, bro, people need to get up their backsides and do something about what is happening, because if we cannot sit down there and say, oh, ASCEF need to go, the government need to go. No, we need to take them out. It's not they need to go, they will not go anywhere. You see all these interests that they're protecting a lot of stuff that we don't know nothing, you know. What we're hearing there is nothing to compare to what they're hiding, you know. They're hiding much more than what we know. It's time for us to get them out and stop saying it's time for them to go. They would not go anywhere. They will sit there and they will milk us. They will make our lives miserable. People will be there. You have people that will be working. Well, right now we have what you call the working poor. So why do you have a working poor? These were people that were getting by 20 years ago, but now they cannot get by. So we need to do something about that and stop saying that these people must go. No, we must get rid of them. Have a good day.
Have a good day. Somebody's asking me, Matt, I'm not hearing these breaking stories on the other radio station. They don't break news, they report news. That's the difference. 138. Talk to me. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, man.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah. It's not only to say that they are evading taxes, you know. It's most of the time and most of the individuals or people, I personally believe, is the principal part of it, that building up the taxes, where it coming from. And these are things we also need to know. That, okay, you are trying to evade taxes. Okay, if you evade tax on $1,000, it's so much. But how much is the money and where it come from? Where it's derived from? So this is very important. And when we get to know that, then we will get to know almost the whole story.
All right. Caller, thank you very much. We have the revenues coming for the beneficiaries. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, Matt.
I'm here.
Good afternoon to your listeners. Matt, as I'm listening to that breaking news from Panama, Matt, it's a shame, Matt, for the Labour Party people to be taking the passport money and putting it away to benefit themselves. Matt, Dominicans need to open their eyes. They need to open their minds and see what the Labour Party is doing to the country. Matt, especially the people in Suffolk and Scott's Head, they need to listen to what is happening to the country. And good afternoon, Matt, and bye-bye.
Listen very, very carefully. Hello, talk to me here.
Hey, Matt, good afternoon, bro. Boy, Matt, all those big stories, eh?
Yep.
Matt, you see, I'm very, very happy about what you did in rebroadcasting the debate, as you said, that is taking place in real countries. And you see, Matt, just that few minutes, I think it should have educated us a lot. Did you notice, Matt, for example, that the speaker, before the Prime Minister, in his deliberation, he asked a number of questions. And you notice what the Prime Minister did? Sat there, noted the questions, and you see he took the time, went out of his way almost to respond to each and every question, as opposed to what happens here. That is one instance. The other thing, Matt, is the whole question about accountability. What we are seeing being debated there, it's some people ask the question, well, is it illegal? Yeah, I had heard somebody ask. Well, of course, these people are not really, what they're discussing and debating is the fact that a lot of money was being stolen or taken away, deprived, the Inland Revenue Division was being deprived of a lot of money. And this is the case anywhere. And it is more important in poor countries, poor developing countries, where you do not have those types of resources. So it is more impacting. If, for example, we have $4 million disappearing out of here, $4 million that was supposed to have been spent on public projects, it is going to be more impacting here than if, for example, somewhere like a bigger country were to have $4 million. That is no big deal. And the other thing that I will end by saying here, Matt, what is very important, we are hearing in the debate in real countries, they are speaking about the wealthy, the rich people evading taxes. But we must not believe that all the persons that are named in the Panama Papers, they are wealthy who are just seeking to evade taxes. As a caller previously alluded to, where did those persons get the money to become rich? In our Dominica, for example, my friend, how many legitimate businesses that are creating millionaires in this country, my brother. Do you know of any, Matt?
I can't say that I know. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
Surely not many.
Not many for sure, no.
Not many. So the point is, in this case, when we speak about poor countries like these, where we know that we do not have the ability to generate and create all these millionaires, when people become millionaires, how did they become millionaires? God came at night and just gave them a lot of money? Obviously, those are monies that were intended for something else that basically absconded. It disappeared in smoke. People call it stealing, people call it corruption, people call it all kinds of names, but the bottom line is the country is deprived of resources for development, and this can very squarely be placed in the situation of Dominica. I thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you. We're going to come back after this.
Hi, I'm Andy Norell. I'll be performing with Luis Perdomo, Obed Calver, and Junior Terry at the Dominica Jazz and Creole Festival, May 15, 2016, at Fort Shirley, Cabritz National Park. See you there.
Hello, Dominica. I'm Ming, the leader of the band Ella and Polly out of Trinidad and Tobago. And we will be performing live at the Dominica Jazz and Creole Festival on Sunday, May 15, 2016, Fort Shirley at the Cabritz National Park. Dominica Jazz and Creole Festival 2016.
Tickets on sale now for Dominica's Jazz and Creole Festival, Sunday, May 15. Available from Bullseye Pharmacy, Roseau and Portsmouth, The Champs, Picard, Tulip, Outback Barn Grill and Phone Shack, Portsmouth. Tickets only $75, so don't miss it. Dominica's Jazz and
Sunday, May 15th, right after Creole and Jazz, all roads lead to Prince Rupert Tavern at the Cabritz Portsmouth for Jazz After Party, presented by Prince Rupert Tavern, Heineken Beer. Come, immerse yourself to the music of C-Square, Martinez P and Cornell. Entrance is absolutely free. The free Heineken promotion will be taking place live at the Jazz and Creole After Party. Prince Rupert Tavern at the Cabritz Portsmouth. It's the Jazz After Party. This event is sponsored by Heineken Beer. Your world. Flow. This is how we flow. Prince Rupert Tavern at Cabritz Portsmouth is the place to be. Right after Jazz and Creole. Don't miss.
Every day we celebrate something. A birthday, wedding anniversary, a newborn baby. Some days we send well wishes, a thank you message. We say I'm sorry. We send condolence messages. We want to make that special someone feel extra loved. Go to Fruit Plus on Cock Street. Show your emotions with a fruit basket. Fresh floral arrangements, chocolates, wines, perfumes, jewelry sets, captioned mugs, and so much more. Get that special gift for that special moment for your special someone. Visit Fruit Plus on Cock Street today.
It was the men's 100-meter final at the Olympic Games. Whoever won stood to make history. Who can say they witnessed the magic live? Who can? You can. Get a chance to win airfare, accommodation, and tickets to the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. Text RIO to 5463 and play for your chance to win. Only Flow brings you 2,000 hours of live, crystal clear HD, and the freedom to watch wherever, whenever, and on the go. Learn more at discoverflow.co.
This Pentecost weekend, all roads lead to Purple Turtle Posse with Swinging Stars, Mr. Mix and Prince Wadix on Saturday, and on Sunday right after the Jazz and Creole, Mr. Mix, Prince Wadix and Selector Urban. Big people People Party Balguam on Pentecost Saturday Purple Turtle with the unbeatable combination of swinging stars Mr. Mix and Prince Wadix, and on Pentecost Sunday right after Jazz and Creole, Mr. Mix, Prince Wadix and DJ Urban. Portsmouth and environs is now your turn. Purple Turtle presents Big People Party. Pentecost Saturday featuring swinging stars Mr. Mix and Prince Wadix. Then on Pentecost Sunday right after Jazz and Creole, Mr. Mix, Prince Wadix and DJ Urban. Weekend Bad Cut Kai Show Me supported by the extraordinary network DJ Sam, Hot Bowie Pumari God, Capi Sebo Kasi Bruce Monsieur Mesdames, Mama Mia Pama Tessa Monsieur Mesdames, parce qu'on peut perdre 10 000.
It's the ultimate event for Pet Isidore in Saint-Sauveur. Yes, massive, you've waited long enough, and now it's here, performing for the first time in Saint-Sauveur. Triple K International. Also on the lineup, Dominica's hottest and best DJ Flip the Boss. DJ Flip the Boss. Alongside the ever versatile DJ Affy. Drop DJ Affy. It's happening Sunday, May 15 at the Isidore Village in Saint-Sauveur. Bang time 8 p.m. Only $20 gets you in. Yes, Black Star Entertainment is bringing it to you. This Isidore Sunday, May 15. Book that date, Saint-Sauveur. 2 big DJs, 1 big band. Music powered by GX Sounds. Lots to eat and drink. Kubuli Beer and El Dorado Promotions all night. Sponsors Kubuli, Chibis South, Digital Be Extraordinary, Sprinkle Trading, Agent for El Dorado Rum, Island Car Rental, Zipex Color Lab, GX Sounds, Club Retro and Sports Launch, Vibes Radio, Emil Pascal Construction, and Matroid Trading. Black Star Entertainment. Be entertained. DJ Affy, drop it.
Eastside Massive, it's your boy DJ Affy. Fed Isidore 2016 is going down. Sunday 15th of May, Blackstar Entertainment presents Triple K Band, DJ Flip the Boss, DJ Affy, drop it. It's gonna be a mashup.
We have a few more minutes. And we have a call on the line there. Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Matt. How you doing?
How you doing, man?
Excellent. How are you? Good afternoon to all your listeners, Matt. Matt, concerning the Panama Papers and all the Dominican names we see flying around.
Yes.
Matt, I mean, it's ridiculous because we know bananas not selling anymore. Do you know the last time a boat was in port taking a bananas?
No.
Okay, neither grapefruit, no oranges, no limes. None of that selling, right? Right? We don't have no boat coming in and pull that out. So we have any farmers with maybe 10 acres well cultivated and maybe they're trying to, invest out there. Right?
We have nothing actually with the exception of some passports that could bring you the millions that we're talking about.
And Matt, and that's exactly my point. And Matt, if you remember a couple of years ago, Bubbles make millions selling crabs. So I was wondering, see if we get some more crabs in town.
Maybe golden crabs.
Maybe get some more golden crabs in town because Matt, the thing is, Dominica is a small country, very small country. Population 72,000, right? And Matt, with all those millions going around the place, Matt, that money should be within the country to help people have a better life. Not a beggar life, but a better life. Matt, for example, where you're sitting right now, Matt, you should be comfortable and feeling well. At the end of the month, I make a decent income where I can take care of my family, right, and take care of my bills. At this point in Dominica, that is not the situation. You walk around every corner and somebody is begging for something. Unemployment is high. Go out in the countryside, the whole place like what you call a zombie land. Nobody working, right? Farms abandoned. Yet the guys have millions spreading out there. We have an election coming up in the Soufriere constituency. Yeah, they go on spreading some of the millions again, showing exactly what is happening to money that's supposed to be for Dominicans in order to assist them, for them to have a better health care. I mean, you go Princess Margaret Hospital, equipment not working. You can't get an ambulance. something going on in your village, you call police, they don't have transportation. I mean, what kind of backwardness is that? But yet we have millions all over the place. Children getting abused there, left, right, and center. Nobody's saying anything. What is the justice system is doing? They keep on saying about they don't have money. Farmers strike for trying to get the feeder roads in operation so that they can make a living. They refuse to do that. Yet they have millions going on. They closed the hospital in Marigot. Where is the main hospital where the airport is coming in, a hospital that service between Atkinson all the way down to Calabishi. Yet you have millions going all over the place. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's time for Dominicans to start doing something. And when I say do something, maybe stop calling the radio and start acting. Because that's the only way. And even in terms of acting, man, you have to start targeting the people that have the money. Because they're making you starve. Target the people who have the money. I'm sorry. But I mean, it's nonsense that all this thing is going on. Yet people's life is getting worse.
It was David Arada who said he was going to Panama, right? Well, I want to go to Panama too. Okay, let's take another phone call. It's 1:54 already.
Yeah, Matt, good afternoon, my brother.
Are you going to Panama too?
Boy, Matt, it's very interesting, Matt. Matt, you see, some years ago, Matt, Gun Emmanuel published a list, Matt.
Yeah.
Coming from penned by Stephen Isidore. Essentially, Matt, a money laundering list. Matt, can you imagine that list is in the possession of the police of Dominica? And they did nothing, Matt, to act on it in terms of dealing with the money laundering issues, Matt. So what we are seeing here, Matt.
But I see the name Mr. Emmanuel on that list. I want to talk to Mr. Emmanuel. I want to find out, Mr. Emmanuel, why are you on that list?
Well, Matt, that's very interesting, Matt, because a number of people's names are on that list. A number of them are unaware because even some of them are dead. People on that list. So, Matt, you can see the extent of the corruption in terms of the desperation of the people involved, Matt, to basically steal government money. That is what is happening there, Matt. It's not any rocket science. This is an elaborate scheme to steal government money, passport money and otherwise, project money and other things, Matt, and hide these monies in offshore financial institutions, Matt, and live lavish lives. So the corruption continues, and Matt, the police, Matt, Commissioner Carbon and his crew, they are very well aware of what is happening, Matt, and that is an indictment against them, Matt. They are actually in their non-action, Matt. They're actually facilitating that type of criminal activity and empowering those criminals who are involved in that type of money laundering activity and stealing of state funds, Matt. And soon, Matt, what is going to happen is that you're going to see very soon that based on their actions, Matt, Dominica is going to be promoted as a safe haven for these types of international crooks and criminals who are interested in stealing government money, evading taxes, evading child support payments, and all these other things that Skerrit was advertising in Scottsdale, Arizona, some time back to attract criminals to come into the country to live and set up residence, Matt. It's a dangerous situation happening, Matt. And again, Matt, we continue, those of us who are aware of what is happening, continue to be amazed, Matt, that Dominicans have not yet been moved to action at ejecting that band of criminals out of office, Matt.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. 157, hello. Hello.
Good afternoon, Matt. Thank you for taking my call, and good afternoon to Dominica.
How you doing? Interesting times, huh?
Matt, let me tell you something. I've been saying all along for years now that Roosevelt Skerritt and his criminal enterprise, they are the most corrupt the Eastern Caribbean has ever experienced. And it is coming out now. What really hurts, Matt, you cannot explain that to the common man, even in layman terms, in Grand Bay or in any of the stronghold of the labor rights. We will tell you, but whoever was there before doing it too, that's the ignorance that is there. It is embedded in the people. But I am calling on the 17,000 people who voted for UWP. The time is now to come out and block roads and do everything that needs to be done and put Dominica on the international scene. We cannot afford that level of criminality, that level of corruption that Roosevelt Maynard Skerritt has brought to the country, and the repression he continues to put on the poor people of Dominica. My Dominicans need to act. And Mr. Levi Peter, if he believes that he can come out there and shut the people, he needs to be rounded up. Skerritt, Astafan, Alec Lawrence, Lennox Lawrence, every one of them need to be rounded up by these citizens and bring a point to the country. The time is now for Dominica to go out and shut the country down and bring peace to the country. This is just out of control. Thank you, Matt. I'm listening, and whenever they're ready, I am ready. I will fine-tune my war skills to deal with them. Have a great day. Bye.
Yes, thank you very much. I will. Of course, family members are calling. Why are the family names on that? Well, they may have signed some documents, inadvertently, and the names got there. Well, they have to find out from the people who had them sign their names. Be they were working with them. Why? You didn't tell me what I was signing. Hello, talk to me.
Hello.
Yes.
Matt, so it means to tell me that the civil servants could get a raise when they ask for a raise. The public workers could get paid. The Dominican contractors could get the jobs. Matt, I think time for us to get to the move, Matt. Okay?
All right, caller, thank you. We're taking one final phone call. We'll continue tomorrow. This is too important to sweep under the carpet, okay? And maybe tomorrow we'll call the list of names again. So tune in, all right? Let's take a phone call quickly.
Matt, I think Dominica have enough money now. Skerritt have enough money now. Tony have enough money now. Now we have corruption. I think Tony have enough money to get the forensic people now, team, to do their work, Matt. Bye-bye.
Maybe we did some outside help to investigate, huh? David Rod, I going to... No, I think I played the wrong tune there. Let's go with this one. This is it for 30 seconds. I'm going to Panama.
Q95 across the air and